Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about HOMEWORX Red Velvet Cake. Now, as of the time that I'm filming this video, this candle is currently only available on QVC. It doesn't even look like it's in a duo. It looks like it's part of when you type it in under the QVC search bar, it comes up with quite a few other quote unquote holiday candles. But I purchased this candle from the Good Morning America deals back during like Black Friday. They had a couple of days where they were offering this candle as well as a few others for $15 each. So I figured I would snag one at that price point. I personally, side note, love red velvet cake to eat. So I was really intrigued by this fragrance because not only do I like this food, but I also tend to like the way that Harry Slatkin does gourmand fragrances. So let's go ahead and talk about this candle. It is a 4-wick, 18-ounce vessel. We've got the beautiful photographic wraparound label going on here. And I do want to apologize ahead of time if you hear any background noise. I hope that my mic, dulls it out, but I am filming this video outside on my back porch. My family all happens to be home today when I am filming this. But you'll see I'm almost to the end of this candle and I thought, oh, I better get a review filmed before it burns out. All right, so standard 4-wick, 18-ounce vessel that we have come to know and love from the HOMEWORX brand. This particular pour date is July 23rd, 2024. The fragrance notes listed on the bottom of this candle are baked velvet cake, fluffy cream frosting, buttercream filling, and cocoa powder. So let's go ahead and talk about this one because I did briefly touch on it during my January candle chat video that I uploaded. And here's the thing about this candle. I really like it in terms of it being a good cake fragrance. The difference between this fragrance and, say, their birthday cake candle, which has been a standout repurchase for me year after year, the difference between this candle and that one, it has definitely the same cake base, but the birthday cake candle has more of those like rainbow sprinkles, kind of that like candied, I almost want to say like plasticky, but that candle doesn't smell plasticky to me. That one, there is a note of caramelized sugars in that one. And I think that I detect that fragrance note a little bit more in the birthday cake candle. Like on the picture, or on the label of that candle, it's definitely like a funfetti cake. If you've ever had one of those like Pillsbury out of the box funfetti white cake with sprinkles in it, that's what that candle smells like to me. This candle to me definitely still smells like cake, but it is missing those like rainbow artificial sprinkle kind of accord that the birthday cake has. I will tell you though that this fragrance to me doesn't necessarily smell. I wouldn't say that it necessarily hits it on the head in terms of it being a red velvet cake to me. And the reason why is because there is a cocoa powder note listed in this fragrance. Now, granted, just because cocoa powder is listed doesn't mean that it's going to be a chocolate fragrance. I'm not saying that that's where this needs to go at all. It's not a chocolate cake fragrance by any means. But when I have had red velvet cake, part of the reason why I like the flavor of red velvet is because there's a little bit of cocoa mixed in there. And then I had mentioned this in the candle chat video when I have made red velvet cake from scratch, there's a little bit of a component of white vinegar in there, which granted, I know that nobody wants vinegar smelling in their cake, but there is something that just kind of like balances that. I think that's the element that keeps it from getting a little bit too cocoa or chocolate heavy. That's kind of what sets it apart. And then obviously, of course, copious amounts of red dye. But yeah, this fragrance to me, it's definitely a nice cake fragrance. I do enjoy it. The more that I have burned it, I have really, really liked it, in terms of it being just a really nice, good, solid gourmand cake fragrance. I get a little hint of icing in here, but it's not overly cloying, artificially sweet. I think it's very, very well balanced out. So with that being said, I'm not really sure that I would smell this candle and initially think, oh, it smells like a red velvet cake baking in the oven, but it does definitely smell like cake to my nose, but it's not necessarily vanilla cake. It's not necessarily like, obviously not like a lemon cupcake. It's not like limoncello cupcake. And it's definitely not a chocolate cake. So I don't know, maybe that is what red velvet cake would smell like. But I don't know, you guys. To me, it's a very, very nice staple cake fragrance that doesn't lean too chocolate heavy, doesn't lean too vanilla heavy. It's done just very, very well. So I will give it on the fragrance. While I don't think that it's authentic red velvet cake as I have remembered baking a red velvet cake in the oven. I don't know. I haven't done that in quite some time though. So um, I, I do enjoy the fragrance. Now we need to talk about the performance, though, because that's where this is where I'm going to give it a little bit more criticism. So you can see here, you can see that I am pretty close to, I've got less than a quarter of the amount of wax left in this wax pool here. You can see that there's some wick residue in the bottom. However, so far that is still not really affecting the fragrance of this candle. The wicks have been performing quite well for me on this one. I haven't had any issues with it pulling out. The wicks I did trim initially at the beginning, but even then they don't really develop huge like carbon balls at the end. So that point is good, and the pulling out is good. Where I was having an issue is that the first burn of this candle was basically scentless. And even the second burn on it, I wasn't really detecting a whole lot. It did take about 3 burns on this candle for me to really start smelling it. But even then, you guys, this candle performs best in my master bedroom where there are 9-foot high ceilings. It's more closed concept. It's a smaller room in comparison to, say, like my open concept living room that has high ceilings and opens up into the kitchen. When I have placed this candle out in the living room area, like I said, where it's more open concept, the fragrance gets completely lost. I cannot smell it out in the open concept. However, if I burn it, like I said, in the master bedroom, different closed concept, lower ceilings, I can smell it decently. It's still not like blowing me out of the water or anything like that. I would give it at a maximum, I would give it about a 6, but I think I'm going to settle it like a 5.5, anywhere between a 5 and a 6, I would say, in terms of strength and throw on this candle. Would I like it to be stronger? Yes. Those of you who have been here with me for a while, my sweet spot is usually an 8 when it comes to perfection on a candle. And that tends to be because I will usually burn more than one fragrance at a time in my house. I usually burn one in my living room, one in my master bedroom, and I like the fragrances to complement each other. So I don't necessarily need every candle to be a 10 and to like fill its way into every room of the house, because I usually don't want it to overtake the complementary fragrance that I'm burning with it. But this one, for me, I want it to be a little bit stronger. If it had been stronger, I honestly probably would have purchased a backup, just because I do really like this fragrance. There is I'm trying to determine really what it is that separates this from being like your standard cake fragrance. It is definitely a gourmand, like I said. But it's not birthday cake. It's not the chocolate cake candle. It's kind of like the Goldilocks. It's like right in between. And it's very, very well done in terms of the fragrance. Like I said, not really sure it's completely, it doesn't, when I smell it, I don't really think of red velvet cake. But that being said, I guess I don't really think of a spice cake or any other cake. So maybe it is red velvet cake, the more that I think about it. Anyways, you guys, for that reason, the fragrance gets 1 thumb up from me, but the performance gets a thumbs down. I think the only way that I might consider repurchasing this candle is if I see it on a really, really good clearance and I let it sit for a year and let it cure and see maybe if it would develop into something stronger, because we know that HOMEWORX candles can tend to do that. But if you're planning to purchase this one soon and then burn it right away, just know that if you have a closed concept home, it'll probably perform well for you. But in an open concept, you're going to be pretty disappointed based off of my experience. So please consider hitting the old thumbs up button if you found this review helpful. Consider chiming in down below in the comments if you have burned this candle and what your burn experience has been with it. I was hoping that it would have come to the Slatkin & Co. website for Valentine's Day. I thought this would have been a great candle to burn around Valentine's Day. I think it was marketed more as a holiday fragrance, but personally, I think it would have been great for Valentine's Day. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But if for some reason it does happen to show up on the Slatkin & Co. website, or if there are any other Slatkin & Co. candles that you are interested in purchasing, I do have a discount code with them. It is an affiliate code that's eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you're comfortable. But my discount code is KATIESJOYFULLIFE. It should save you 15% on orders over $40 on their website. So yeah, you guys, I hope you found this review helpful, and consider subscribing to my channel if you are new and you like a lot of candle videos. I do reviews like this, empties, hauls, and everything in between. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.